Hello, my friends! I am Ventox, your resident Fate Phantom fanatic, and tonight we are approaching the end of the content that is out for NA thus far. We are on section 8 out of what I believe is 10 sections for the first segment of Lostbelt 7. We do have a concrete date for the release of the second part, which is going to be the 15th of January, so a week from tomorrow. What that means is I'm probably actually gonna hit a time lock. Like, for the first time in literal years, I am going to be caught up, having streamed everything, so that's exciting. I am really excited to see where this story is going to go, but also it's nice to not feel like I have to play catch up, you know? I feel like I'm taking this at a cruising pace, I'm taking it at my speed, and I'm loving it all along the way, so I am very eager to see where we move forward. We also have a super unnecessary half AP cost campaign, I guess, going on for the next 2 months. That's cool, I guess. That's gonna be nice for the 24 AP boss fights that I get steamrolled by. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Hello, DL, good to see you. Welcome, Lugi, welcome, Perlictor, Maladal. I saw Flash, I saw Senpapi, I saw Vacuum, I saw Beery, I saw Canis CE. I'm sure there's some folks here that I'm missing, but it's good to see everybody. I hope that your weekends were good. I hope that the last couple of days have treated you well. I have been resting my voice as much as possible because my 8-hour gravel voice festival on Sunday left me dead to the world. Between all of the dinosaurs and specifically Kamazotes, but about half of the cast really has some level of deep gravel or growl or something that I do. So this Lostbelt has been pressing me on my vocals. Not going to be here long because I have an intake interview tomorrow. Oh, good. Well, best of luck with it. So we are going to go ahead and start, as always, with our daily friend point summon. You'll note that my friend point count has accelerated a little bit since Sunday. It's not as high as I would love for it to be, but it's going to serve a purpose. I think another couple of days, maybe a week or so, of really pushing that, and I'll be able to get enough foes to wrap up my servants. I don't mind catching these Lostbelt 7 streams compared to the Lostbelt 6 one because 6 was so long. Yeah, I was talking about this with a friend of mine yesterday about why I like Lostbelt 7 so much, and granted, I haven't finished it yet. I haven't finished the time lock yet. But I was talking about why I like it, and I really liked the pacing and the characters and the surprises in the story, and he brought up the soccer match and was like, well, that was a fun distraction and everything, but what, you mean you're not concerned about the pacing when MASH is doing this 20-minute long diatribe about the history of Central America? And I said, bro, did you read Lostbelt 6? Did you read every single chapter being some weird meaningless diatribe? Do you realize how quickly we got to actual action in Lostbelt 7 compared to Lostbelt 6? Lostbelt 6 was still exciting, don't get me wrong, I liked it, but just the speed of Lostbelt 7, they really trimmed a lot of the fat that I have been criticizing Fate Grand Order for the last few years. Really, after Lostbelt 2 is when I feel like it started getting super egregious for me. I was still really into it through Lostbelt 2, and then Lostbelts 3, 4, 5, and 6 just felt like slogs to me. Lostbelt 7 feels like a return to form. It really is showcasing a lot of the things that I liked the most about Fate Grand Order, and the reason why I started streaming enthusiastically in the first place. I remember one of the first events that I ever did on stream was the original run of CCC. And that was a load of fun. I really enjoyed that event. And that was one of the longer events at that time. That was one of the beefier events. Tomorrow I have an intake interview for one of 2 schools I might go to, and the day after tomorrow I have the intake interview for the other. Very nice. Yeah, go get some rest. I love having you here, but you need to be at tip-top shape for that. And both schools will be able to see the glory of Pixel Schoolgirl of the Opera, which is on the Discord in case anybody has not seen that. It is wonderful. So, let's go ahead and get caught up to where we are currently in Lostbelt 7. A lot has happened. Quite a bit has happened since our previous stream. because I went for like 9 hours. We went from section 2 to section 8. So buckle in, because here we go. The exceedingly quick version of everything that's happened in Lostbelt 7 so far. After we had crash landed here and met with Tepeu and Mash, we went to Chichen Itza, but Chichen Itza is home to the dinosaur king that we need to curry favor with so that he can give us passage across the plains. But we get to the throne room, and then the priest is like, "Is that you, Tepeu? I hate you! Get out of my sight!" And then Tepeu is like, "Oh well, guess we'll have to participate in the annual soccer match." So we get to the soccer match. We find a team that sucks. This team is terrible. They've lost like 500 matches in a row, but we're gonna carry them to victory. But first we have to get soccer balls that we can offer to the Dinosaur King, or to Kukulkan the sun, what was it called? The magic of the sun, the wrath of the sun, something like that. And while we're out in the forest gathering rubber, there is a boy who like kills some dudes and then is like, "What do you want?" and then leaves all edgy. So we go to the soccer match and we win our first match against a bunch of T-Rexes that are themed after Taiga. Then our second match is against Olga Marie, coached by Rasputin, and we win, and Olga Marie is like, "Oh, how could I lose?" And then we go to our third match, which was supposed to be against Nemo Marine's team, but Nemo Marine and Tepeu had resigned, but Nemo Marine didn't know this, so he runs off crying into the woods, and then Tepeu is like, "Oh no, did I do something wrong?" And then he chases after Marine to learn about feelings. And then the king of dinosaurs comes out and is like, "You won the tournament, congratulations." Wait a minute, you aren't dinosaurs, you're people. And so he sicks the best character in the Lost Belt, Wakchan, on us. And then we fight Wakchan a little bit. And then Wakchan is like, "I don't want to fight, I want love." And then he proposes to you, Olga Marie. Then the Dinosaur King is revealed to be the edgy boy from the forest who says, "I'm Tezcatlipoca." So we go to his throne room and he's like, "I hate you all, but you won, so I'll give you passage across the plains, I guess." And we're like, "Okay, cool, bye." And so we leave. Then cut to 4 days ago at the storm border. The storm border's wreckage is being repaired when suddenly everybody is confronted by Izcali, the soon-to-be heir to Tezcatlipoca, and also Tezcatlipoca himself, who is Man from the underworld, who stole our command spells and brought us back to life. Man is Tezcatlipoca, and he is a terrible person. And Meunier gets shot, just straight up shot with a gun through the heart and then through the brain, and doesn't die, and then everyone gets taken hostage. We finally make our way to the storm border 4 days later. We see a grisly sight of a bunch of people dead, and then Marine gets captured by Izcali, and Izcali is like, "I'm going to kill you all, but if you don't fight back, I'll let Marine go. But if you do fight back, I'll just shoot him." And naturally, I summon Phantom of the Opera because that's the rules. So Marine just gets shot in cold blood and straight up dies. And then we kind of push back Izcali with the help of, surprise, Tamamovich Koyanskaya, who arrives on her motorcycle all badass and cool. And then it is revealed that none of the actual staff of Chaldea has died. All of that was illusions. And even Meunier is still alive. Meunier is in the hospital. But Cataclysm Lupus, Da Vinci, Shion, and maybe one other person who I'm forgetting got kidnapped. So we have to go rescue them. But in order to rescue them, we have to cross Iztaccíhuatl, which is the second underworld, which is a field of mountains that are as sharp as blades. And then we get there, and then Kamazotes is like, "Haha, it's ya boy again. Time for the mandatory roadblock. You're in one of the underworlds, and there were supposed to be 4 servants, so you're getting 4 of these underworld guardians. Here's number 2. It's Benienma." And Benienma has the sickest cool new costume, which apparently isn't obtainable in the game for God knows what reason. But Benienma is like, you guys are sentenced to 400 quadrillion years in this underworld. Okay, have fun, bye. And then she leaves, and we just wander and wander and wander, and we can't find an exit. So now, in order for us to make it out of Iztaccíhuatl and make it to Mexico City on the other side of this underworld, we are going to have to find a way to beat Benienma and free ourselves of this hell. And that, my friends, is sections 2 through 8 of Lostbelt 7. So I hope you guys have retained that information. We're moving on. I decided to stick around real quick for this summary. There was a lot that I did not include there. I'm sorry, it was only 100 quintillion years, not 4, so I was wrong, I apologize. 100 quintillion years, what does that mean? It means there's no point even trying to serve the sentence. Hell, not even a red giant star could serve that sentence. I guess Benienma's concept of hell comes from Buddhism. India was one of the first countries to discover the concept of zero, so they must be well versed in numbers. All that aside, 100 quintillion years seems a little excessive. I mean, those are very literally astronomical numbers.
Life imprisonment, indeed. It seems clear now that our only path out of this is a jailbreak.
A jailbreak? But how do we do that when there's no way out?
Oh, that. Simple. If this underworld transformed into an execution ground when Benienma became its guardian, then it should go back to the way it came once she disappears. I know I originally recommended leaving her alone, but now that we understand our situation, we have no choice but to defeat her. Don't you agree, Ventox?
In character, they did it right here. They absolutely nailed my thought process. Important choice? Consult the pretty lady. What do you think, Koyenskaya?
Of course I'm against it. As far as I'm concerned, that fake priest can just die. Still, it does seem that we won't be able to leave this boundary of the underworld without defeating her. And since I make it a point of pride to separate my personal beast feelings from my business dealings, if you decide to go after her, I'll lend you my full support.
Then we're going to fight her, yes?
That's all well and good, but I don't see how we can win.
True. Her sword seems to be capable of killing even the dead. Fortunately for us, this hell follows the Japanese model, which means sinners simply come back to life once killed. That was why young Miss was able to will herself back during our earlier battle. So we know servants will come back to life no matter how many times they are killed. As such, this comes down to how much pain and suffering we're willing to endure. Emiya is rolling in his grave right now.
What's up, Shadow Destroyer? Happy Tuesday. She wouldn't even be here if she hadn't answered Chaldea's summons, so it's our fault she's like this.
Well, that just makes sense. Of course we need to keep as many capable personnel as we can. Right. I agree with Master.
Then you can do the same thing you did with King Protea, Father Kotomine. You can slip past her deadly blade like a stray bullet from an ocelotl. I would be grateful if you refrained from volunteering me for such obviously reckless courses of action, Tepeu. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do that this time. King Protea's infection was concentrated in her mask. But I have yet to see any specific item causing her transformation like with King Protea, which means I can't cure her alterization.
I still just cannot believe the effort that they put into making a new text sprite for Benienma and making a new combat sprite for Benienma. King Protea gets a costume and all she really had was this mask that changed her. Benienma is altered to her core here, apparently.
So your hands are tied this time, Father Kotomine? Then I have a suggestion. I think Benienma, the tongue-cut sparrow, must have been forced to grow into her current form. This version of her is her future self after she completed her training and began to substitute for the kings of hell. That means it's not a superficial transformation, but genuine if forced growth. And that means all we need to do is make her young again.
Quite an idea. Expertly weaving together your own personal interests and desire for profit. I see only one issue with your plan. It is impossible. Unless someone here has a spell or noble phantasm of rejuvenation that I am unaware of.
Of course they don't, but are you forgetting something? Past, present, and future all converge in the underworld. As long as we have enough magical energy, we can summon as many servants as we like while we're here. Which means we have no end of willing collaborators to choose from. Isn't that right, Master of Chaldea? Hey, yeah, I can just summon a heroic spirit with a legend about becoming young again. Okay, so there's Kid Gil with the Potion of Youth. A heroic spirit with a story about becoming young again. I mean, I can think of a lot of servants whose aging was halted. I'm thinking about, like, Saber, who was eternally, what, like 18? Because that was the age at which she pulled the sword from the stone? Marty McFly? No, that's time travel. Servants who became young again. I'm thinking, like Helena, but she's not really... She didn't become young, she just is not visibly as old as she is canonically. The one version of Merlin who aged backwards or something? I can't justify another Merlin appearance. I'm stumped on this one. Who are we gonna summon? I'll search the database right now. Given how many missions we've completed, I'm sure we'll find a heroic spirit with a rejuvenating noble phantasm. I'm so sorry. My enthusiasm was misplaced. There are a number of heroic spirits whose noble phantasms deal with immortality, invincibility, and the like. But I didn't find any who can make someone young again. What about, what was that guy's name? Urashima Taro. His story is all about age, right? I don't know anything about him.
I'm afraid you are mistaken, young miss. Taro's story involves suddenly getting older, not younger.
I can't think of any fairies with de-aging legends either. The only ones I know of involve fairies pranking people by making them old.
So even summoning heroic spirits cannot necessarily solve every problem. What a pity. I suppose Father Kotomine flying to her is our only choice. I must say, Tepeo, I really don't understand your sense of humor.
If we can't make her young again, then... Deus Ex Machina number, what, 4? Ahem. Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt, but our top god was adamant that we can't let Odin have all the glory. Oh, is this going to be Ku Alter? May I offer some advice? I know that voice. Oh, hello, Fion Mahumil. Khumail, I think? Not someone I was expecting to show up again. A noble phantasm is an embodiment or sublimation of a given heroic spirit's legend, their trump card, if you like. And I doubt there are many heroic spirits out there who have de-aging or rejuvenation as their trump card. So, try taking it one step down. There may not be many heroic spirits with a rejuvenating noble phantasm, but there are absolutely some who possess a rejuvenating potion or elixir. I'm afraid I don't have anything of the sort myself, but can you not think of one who does? A hero who loves collecting things of that sort and who has strong ties to all of you. Okay, yeah, wow, actually, for real. Alright, that's all from me. Give the proprietress my regards. I can't believe we got a call from the other side of the summoning circle. This almost feels like less like the underworld and more like the Throne of Heroes outpost.
It's true, every human dies eventually, heroes are no exception. So the underworld, that is, the next world, is both a melting pot of human data and its final destination. So why would Tezcatlipoca put such a thing here? Could there be another purpose to these boundaries of the underworld?
Any idea who he meant, Ventox?
What do you mean, no? I literally called it. I think it was the very first name I came up with. Seriously? Think harder, you idiots. How hard can it be to recall Uruk's greatest king, and one of the greatest collectors and heroes of all time? Oh, I thought it was going to be the kid version, not the best version. Long time no see, your majesty. King Gilgamesh. That's right, of course he would have an elixir of youth in his collection. Has Kid Gil ever been in the main story in any capacity? I don't think he has. I don't think he's really shown up in many stories at all. I can't think of any stories where he was a standout character. He's been in the game since launch, right? He was a year one servant at minimum. But I'm pretty sure he was just a launch servant, but I don't think Kid Gil has ever had any actual relevance. He was released alongside Amakusa? What, really? Huh. I was around for that. How do I not remember that? Okay, whatever. It's so good to see you again, your majesty. It's been so long since... Oh, right, this isn't again for you at all, is it? The events of the Seventh Singularity were never inscribed upon the original King Gilgamesh, so... I'm so sorry, I hope I didn't offend you. That's right, I forgot. No matter. I didn't come all this way just to lecture you. You can review how heroic spirit summons work on your own time. Right now, you need an elixir of youth, yes? Fortunately for all of you, I have one. I can't deliver it to you myself since your summoner's magical energy is so pitiful it's barely third rate. But you can at least summon the elixir itself. Here, take it. Is that what craft essences are? Canonically? Like summoned fragments of items or concepts associated with heroic spirits? I guess that would make sense. Alright, whatever. We have just established into the canon, though, that, like, we can use small bits of magical energy to get objects associated with servants? I guess maybe that's only achievable at a point that, like, serves as a conduit for communication between the Throne of Heroes and us. I guess this probably wouldn't be achievable in other circumstances. Still, it's an interesting notion.
Oh, how very generous. You're nothing like the king I know. Are you sure you're really Gilgamesh?
Ventox, you'd be best served by lopping off that man's head now while you have the chance. Oh, don't I know it? If you don't, there is no question that he will betray you, and at the most inopportune time to boot.
I'm afraid you have the wrong idea. Ventox and I were never allies to begin with. On a different note, King Gilgamesh. Legend had it that you went all the way to the Abyss in your search for an elixir of immortality. Though you failed to obtain the elixir, you were willing to settle for the Herb of Rejuvenation. But on your way back to your kingdom, your arrogance led to a snake stealing it. So my understanding is that you never actually obtained this Herb of Rejuvenation. Am I wrong? Fool! Who do you think I am? True, I allowed that snake to steal the herb, then returned to rebuild Uruk while I was still old and decrepit. But I never forgot about the herb incident, and I've always made it a point to never let my failures stand for long. So I returned to the Abyss and claimed the herb, which I then stored in my treasury as it was reasonably valuable. I see. Note. Alright, farewell, last master of humanity. I wish you luck on your pilgrimage in the underworld. Hold on. I can't let your earlier remark about Senpai being only third-rate pass. What do you take issue with? His magical energy, catalyst, and luck are all pathetic. His luck especially, did he leave them all at home? But I suppose third-rate is indeed a step too far. Congratulations on making it to second-rate, Chaldean. That's more praise than I would have ever expected from Gilgamesh. I'm cool with this.
Add 1 onto the IC counter. I swear, the IC counter would be bigger than the ORT counter. Y'all misled me. I do need to check. I want to make sure before I make any mistakes here that I'm not missing out on the New Year's, like, advent calendar. I'm missing a couple. What am I missing? Will any of these get done just through doing the story? Free quest, no. White item through battle, maybe. Okay, so I have to find a sunny mountain that drops a white item. I'll do that sometime off stream. I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't about to expire in like an hour and a half. All right. Now the actual boss fight against Benienma. Second-rate master with a third-rate servant. How dare you insult Phantom of the Opera like that?
All right, I'll hold on to this elixir. The rest of you will fight Lady Benienma until she's no longer a threat, or at least somewhat exhausted. Then I'll do whatever it takes to get her to drink the elixir, even if it costs me my life. If all goes well when we're done, we should have the original, pure-hearted, innocent, deliciously gullible Benienma back on human side.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Just force feed a sparrow a potion. I think third rate for Phantom is too kind, actually. That's fair. Oh, she looks so good, man. Oh, it's not fair. Can someone tell me who Benienma's artist is? And if it's not the Disgaea artist, I'm going to be very surprised. This arena gives me DBZ Cell Arc vibes. I was thinking the same thing. I was definitely thinking the exact same thing.
What are you sinners doing here? This court has already passed judgment on you.
Harada Takahito. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Their style is just too distinct.
There will be neither retrial nor appeal. If you refuse to accept your sentence, then I will chop off your limbs and use your torsos as stands for my Needle Mountain Sword for another 100 quintillion years. This sword was given to me by the Buddha himself. You will soon grow most familiar with its full weight of 8 tons. The mountains are moving. Get ready for her, Ventox. Try to call on servants with death resistance. Whoops. If you can't get any, I'll figure something out myself. You stay out of this one, Mash. Without a spirit origin, there's no coming back if you die. Right. Thank you, Olga Marie.
We were robbed of Adult Wu. Yes, we were. Dude, Adult Wu's design looks so good. I still do like at least getting a more mature Wuze-shan from the summer event.
Not even the smallest rat shall escape punishment for its sins. Now you will see for yourself how keenly my mountain blades cut. Enjaku Batojutsu Ultimate Art, Vermilion Bird Benienma. Let the flaming trial begin.
All right. Now this is where Rasputin's actually going to come in handy, because I need ways for Phantom to not get insta-gibbed, and having 3 turns of taunt is going to be very, very useful for that purpose. On the flip side, she is a saber, so that doesn't actually help me. I could really just put Poster Girl on like a Lancer and or on an Archer and call it a day. Unfortunately, Archer is the only class that I don't have Grailed. I guess I could do Oberon, but Oberon doesn't have defensive advantage. He just has offensive advantage. Well, All right, let's just go ahead and assemble. Oh, hello. Gilgamesh? Maybe? I don't know who that's gonna be. Let's just go in and see what happens. You know what? Actually, we've got a saber, so it is X Altar's time to shine. So as a reminder for X Altar's kit, this heal is also a rainbow crit buff. This is a bunch of crit stars and a quick buff. This is attack up, so she's got multiplicative buffs throughout her kit here. And then, most importantly, she has, on her Noble Phantasm, anti-good as a trait damage and anti-saber as trait damage. Now, I don't know if Benienma is good, but if she is, then X-Alter is just going to be the best DPS option I've got, I think, especially at 100 2k2k NP2. Thanks to the plug suit, I was spoiled before they entered. Aw, that's a shame. I'm going to be upset if you can't bring Phantom with Mature Gentleman. Unfortunately, you, Olga Marie, is our winner. At least she gives AoE buster buffs. Why not MHX? You haven't used her in a hot minute? Because I think, honestly, my level of challenge here is just rising and rising, and I don't think that using suboptimal servants is going to yield any results, to be honest. 20% buster up, whoopee. Yeah. Let's just bring along Oberon for Bond, because he's gonna have to be in this party anyways. We can put him in the front, actually, because his Noble Phantasm is useful. He does good damage. God, I wish I had an archer that was worth something. We'll just grab Dark Koyan. We've got Light Koyan with us in the story, so I may as well throw Dark Koyan in to the combat. Benienma is lawful good. Aw, hell yeah. X-Alter is about to annihilate this bird. Now I can't wait for her to have, like, end of turn instant kill evil servants. How about Don Quixote for the lulz? Trust me, he's strong against the bird. Alright, what do you got? I wonder how many guts Olga Marie is gonna have. When HP reaches 0 from death, recover HP and survive. So if she gets insta-killed, she won't die. But she can still die normally, is how I'm taking that. Benienma, is that just chance to insta-kill? Yeah, dude, oh, we're so screwed. We're so screwed. I only get one Phantom of the Opera. I may have to plug suit in this one. I may not have much other choice, but I am going to try. I think a DPS race with X-Alter and someone who has a taunt CE could work. That's an option. Plug in Kirei? Yeah, I am thinking about plugging in Kirei. Like, he won't support the damage much. Well, no, he'll still support X-Alter's damage pretty well. So I think that that might actually be the play. Is X-Alter, Phantom, swap you Olga Marie out because she's worthless, swap that to Rasputin, and then just try to do as much damage as I can, as fast as I can. But right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and charm, and we're just gonna start working our way towards our first X-Alter Noble Phantasm. I do want to see how much damage she'll do with no battery, or no steroids whatsoever. So just off of her Noble Phantasm by itself, we can expect to see, drum roll please, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, wow. 224,000 damage against a good Saber enemy. So I don't even need steroids to break the bar. As long as I have a Noble Phantasm, then I can break the first bar. Whoa! Don't do that. She's AoE? Oh no, okay. Only, okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're safe. She's only AoE on the Noble Phantasm attack. However, now she ignores defense. So that's a bit of an issue. Okay. We're gonna heal up. We're gonna get some crit stars. We're gonna take away some crit stars from you, Olga Marie. I'll do Innocent Monster because Phantom's dead if he gets hit anyway. Cool. Now Alter's got a nice, juicy Buster crit ready to go. And this Buster crit is going to be augmented by the CC as well. Her other Buster card is critical strength against Saber. I don't think you, Olga Marie's skills are useful here. I mean, I guess the increased Buster and the increased crit strength. Yeah, okay, we'll take it. And then I can do that. I do not want to use her third skill right now. I know that. And now we just want to not see either Phantom or X-Alter die. Okay, keep doing that, keep doing that. Yep, yep, yep. Very good. Nope, not that one. Hey, let's go. Man, these X-Alter Brave Chains, though. We are schmoovin' along with the damage. I'm at least gonna find out what happens on Break Bar. $360, okay. Defense up versus oh no! Defense up versus evil. So that might kill X-Alter as my DPS option. That might kill most of my DPS options, actually. I have grailed a lot of evil servants. Phantom, X-Alter, Oberon, Salieri, Koyanskaya. Why you so evil? I do like them evil. That is true. Well, surely it's like a 5% defense up, right? Like, this isn't real defense up. Ironically, Phantom of the Opera is not terribly impacted by that, because when I am landing a killing blow with Phantom, typically I am doing so with his Noble Phantasm, which happens to ignore defense. So that in and of itself is not really the end of the world for me. It is just getting her low enough and letting Phantom survive long enough. If I could get an Oberon Noble Phantasm this turn, that would be awesome. But Olga Marie doesn't help with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and spoil who the last servant is. Oh! Oh my! Hello, King Hassan. How are you today? What a cool dude, man. What a cool servant. Anyway, get out of here, Olga Marie, you little scamp. We don't need ya. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And now I guess I could overcharge. She's lawful good? Because Oberon's overcharge is damage against lawful, I believe. Yeah. So I can actually overcharge Oberon here. And then with the Ignore Invincible, is that targeted? Or is that only to yourself? That's only to yourself. Yeah, okay. Well, that's fine. All right, here's the Galaxy Brain play. Are you ready? That. We brick Oberon. That's actually not that good because she's still got her NP ready to go. Though... no, it's the other Koyanskaya that drains. Damn. Okay, well... the taunt is good in theory, but it's not actually practically useful because the next time she gets to attack, it will be AoE. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that being the case then, should I use the attack up now, or should I save it for Phantom's NP? I'm gonna use it now. Yeah. I don't think that we've got this. If I had some way to drain NP, I think this would be a winner. That was pretty good damage, actually. Not bad. Oh, I should have done Phantom's Arts card. Okay, this is fine. This is fine, because I'm gonna get more Phantom cards on this upcoming turn. You'll see. You'll see. Oh, that's right. She didn't go to sleep because of the... Oh! Oh, man, I could have done it. I absolutely could have done it. The evade didn't matter. The evade was fine because I had Phantom's Charm coming up the following turn. I screwed up so badly by using that Koyanskaya card, and I didn't even think about it. Damn, son. Alright, that's fine. We win. This is going to be an easy one. All I need to do is just switch Koyanskaya for Rasputin, and we win. I really wish that I didn't have to have you, Olga Marie, up in the front. Isn't it refreshing to fight a Saber boss that doesn't rock mental debuff immunity because they aren't male? You know, I'm enjoying that particular interaction right now quite a bit. Very happy not to have to deal with that. Those defense buffs from the final bar are 25% each. Okay, not bad. The unknown servant is King Hassan. The hard fights for this Lostbelt are located more towards the end, which makes sense from a narrative perspective, right? Like, you would want your players to feel a gradual rise in challenge to accompany a gradual rise in tension for the story. Okay, so... Rasputin is maybe not a good start, actually. And here's my thinking. She gets her Noble Phantasm, like, burst immediately, basically, as soon as I break her bar. So it might actually be more worthwhile for me to wait until her bar is broken, see if Phantom gets nuked by an insta-kill, and then if he and X-Alter both survive, then swap out Rasputin, and that's when the fight actually begins. I think that makes a lot of sense. I can still bring Rasputin in. Unfortunately, I am just shy of having an X-Alter Noble Phantasm. Can Habitrot give battery to an ally? I don't remember. It might actually be more worth it for me to take Habitrot. No? She still might be more worth it because, honestly, Olga Marie ain't doing nothing here. At least Habitrot can do two things. One, provide targeted invulnerability to a female servant, and two, remove herself from the field. So I might be better suited bringing Habitrot. Oh, but the problem is cost. I can't bring any CEs if I bring Habitrot. Invincible one time, and Guts, and HP recovery per turn. That Guts actually could be really good. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ditch Holy Night Supper. What CEs have starting charge above 50? If I have anything 60 or higher, I think our only problem is the RNG on death, yeah. But if I play my cards right, I'm only going to need one lucky survival. Yeah, K-Scope, but K-Scope doesn't have any other riders, and I would very much like to have some extra damage, like NP Strength plus 15 is really good. MLB Anniversary CEs can be 60%. Alright, so we're gonna back out, we're gonna go hit the second archive and see what we got. Knights of Marines, that's it. That is the one that I was thinking of. Thank you. Summer 1, I believe? No, Summer 1, I think. I went very far out of my way to get that CE MLB, and it took me over a year because I had to wait for the rerun. Second archive to inventory. Go. Oops. There we go. Okay, Knight of Marines. I might have even leveled up the Knight of Marines CE. Here, let's go ahead and sort by rarity. And then it'll be towards the front of the 4-star CEs. Nope, too far. Or no, it was a 5-star CE, wasn't it? Was it? It must have been. There it is. Yes, I did level it. 64. Why are events CEs in the archive? Because I was doing some spring cleaning. Perhaps a little bit out of season. But I wanted to get rid of all of the excess stuff, and so in order to just keep things clean and tidy for my brain, I shoved every CE I had in the second archive. Because there it's easier to just look at everything as one big whole and decide what needs to stay and what goes. Okay, so now, it's not level 100, but I have Knight of Marines, which starts at 60%, and gives me a 15% quick up, so that is fine. Habitrot doesn't get a CE, she doesn't need one, I don't think I really care. So what we get to do is immediately put the invulnerability and the guts on X Alter, which is important because if she gets insta-killed, that protects her for a turn. And if she doesn't, then we're in great shape. So I can do that. This, I don't remember what this does. Heal and apply debuff immune for a turn. And it's not bad. I don't think Benienma gives any debuffs though, so not important. Then I bring in Kirei. And we do this. Do I want to taunt right now? Or should I just buy myself a turn? No, I think it's worth taunting right now. He gives himself extra guts so he can survive more insta-kills. I think that that's worth it. And now I should just be able to, no questions asked, break the bar. Not gonna let Habitrot die and rotate out. No, because this gives me a little bit more control. Nice NP gain from the X Alter, too. If Rasputin does happen to die, then Oberon can come in and give her a full heal. All right, GG. See, this is the reason why I want to do this the way I'm doing it, because I will know before turn 1 is finished whether the run is viable or not. Basically, it's just RNG whether or not I get to move on to turn 2. But I think with this setup, if we make it to turn 2, then we'll have no problem getting further. Sexist Habitrot can't give Phantom a wedding dress. You know what I could do is not have K-Scope on Phantom of the Opera. That is an option. Let's grab the insta-kill resist CE. I feel like that will probably be more useful than any guts CEs. A bit of trivia, but I wonder if you know about the only 5-star CE that gives 40% NP charge. Is that at max limit break? Oops. At max limit break, I probably do have it unless it was a gotcha CE. But off the top of my head, I could not tell you what it was. Okay, well this one actually should be very easy to filter. Oh, I never max limit broke this. Well, still, 60% is pretty good. That must have been a gotcha CE. Because I definitely full cleared Karno Kyokai. Oh, the 3 great heroes. Yeah, Journey to the West. That's good art too, man. Man, it's a shame that that event sucked. I'm not gonna pull my punches. That event was dreadfully bad. Oh, you have a Babbage leveled. You must really like him. Yeah, that's the reason why he's in jail. Alright, honestly, this is probably just my best move. Now, I don't need Necromancy on Kirei. What should I do with Kirei? I suppose I could do Volume and Hydrargyrum and just draw the taunt out even longer. Let's give it a shot. In second archive, so nothing happens to him. Yeah, it's to protect him, that's it. I'll let you believe that. So, in theory, we've got tonight's stream, we've got Thursday's stream, and if I'm not able to finish Lostbelt 7 Part 1 by Thursday, I should still be able to do a stream 1 week from today, and then the following day is when the new part releases. So that is exciting. We've got a little bit of wiggle room here. You know what I could do, actually? I can do this, and then make Phantom debuff immune and give him Innocent Monster. Okay. So now we taunt, we do Malicious Feast. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get quite the refund here, but that might mean that I get an X-Alter Brave Chain next turn instead, which is probably more desirable here. Fun fact, I brought both the MLB and non-MLB version of something gentleman. What is it? Mythical Gentleman? And the holders did not ever die to Benny's insta-death. I mean, 60% is pretty huge. I think very rarely are you going to find that insufficient. Okay, Phantom survives. Yes, and there's the Brave Chain we were looking for. Very nice. Let's go ahead and use the heal on Phantom. And I could even use this heal on Phantom if I wanted as well, but I'm not going to just yet. Should I pop all of X-Alter's skills? I think that's worth it. I'm not really worried about her taking damage, so I don't care about wasting that heal. And I've got 44 crit stars, which means I can basically, yeah, guarantee a Brave Chain that's all crits. And this is the best Buster CC that I could have gotten. I don't think this will break the chain, or break the bar, but it's gonna get us a very long way. Even then, what I could do, if it takes me 2 more turns, I could break the bar. Oh. Well, I can break the bar and then Noble Phantasm with X-Alter, and that will take her down into killing range for Phantom, I think. So we are looking like we're in decent shape here. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I've got Rhyme Goodfellow. I use Rhyme Goodfellow. That philosophy has very rarely steered me wrong. Alright, so second bar is broken. I think I want to wait a turn before doing X-Alter's Noble... Oh, well, you know what, actually? Since she's got defense up against evil, maybe I should just go ahead and do... Yeah, let's actually do it. Let's Charm with Phantom this turn, I think? Yeah, Phantom's NP does ignore defense, and I can just catapult Phantom to a Noble Phantasm with Oberon. So I just need to get her in killing range, which is going to be roughly under 30,000 HP. That's what we're aiming for here. Now, Oberon NP would be good. I'm trying to do some really quick back of the napkin math. 25% down. And 220 would be about 55,000 less, which would be about 165,000, I think. So yeah, X Altar's Noble Phantasm is not going to come near killing. I think I could do an X Altar Brave Chain. I think Charming is wise, though. I don't want to lose Phantom to a bunch of stray crits or something. I'm gonna split the difference on an X-Alter Brave Chain and just put an Oberon card in there. I just... Oberon don't crit. Look at that! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that could have gone wrong. GG, Benienma. GG. In before she has hidden guts. Will the plan be to brick XA to taunt? That was an option, but it was not needed. Ichon carried. She's fantastic, dude. Like, ever since I got Mysterious Heroine X Alter, I have never, ever taken an archer for the sake of killing a saber. She's just so bonkers good. Like, she has really good NP gain. She hits like a truck. She hits like multiple trucks, and that is without her baked-in multiplicative special trait modifiers. King Hassan gave insta-kill protection if he's on the field. Well, that might have been nice to know, but I think the strategy we went with was still pretty good. I know you brought Grand Archer Orion to fights. I brought Grand Archer Orion to fights for one of two reasons. Either one, because it's fun to see big buster number go burr, or two, because it was Fluffy. And X-Alter was not going to be the correct answer against Fluffy. Chirp! How are you weaving through my Needle Mountains? You're not even kingfishers. Is that the best the world's quickest, shortest sparrow quick-draw can do? Hardly impressive as weapons go. It may work well for crushing large targets, but it's clearly useless against small ones. Did you stop sizing your opponents up once you grew up? Or is this some sort of inferiority complex fixated on your smaller self? Don't get cocky, rabbit. Now that I am a great king, my sword is as precise as ever. This is it. This barrage is exactly the opportunity I was waiting for. I'm afraid you're the cocky one here. Lady Benienma's swordplay is supposed to be so quick it can't even be seen. It should not be so big and brutal that you hide your own target from view. Huh? Goats aren't the only ones who have an easy time crossing mountains. A bunny on a bike can do the job just as well. What a flat line. Now watch me thread the needle in your place. Like, this would be cool visually if I could watch it happen. Watching Koyenskaya zip through these, like, rising mountains on her motorcycle. Like, I'd love to see this scene animated. I did it! And without any further ado... What are you doing, you pervert? Fair. Chirp? Oh my. Not the potion delivery method that I was expecting. I'm beyond mortified, Chirp. I'm so sorry you had to see me like that. Please allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Benienma, the tongue-cut sparrow. And you must be the master of Chaldea. Thank you for everything you've done to protect humanity so far. I wish you luck in your continuing quest, though I also hope you won't push yourself too hard, Chirp. I imagine that there is fan art of that moment. I'm afraid the only services I can provide are a good bed, a sound night's sleep, and a delicious meal. But if any of those will help you smile, I will gladly offer what I can. It should have been me. Same, dude. Big same.
Please call me Benny from now on, chirp. And if you need to use my Bato Jutsu too, just say the word.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, I'm not going to reference the Enmate event. I did not like that event.
On another note, can you do anything about this overgrown jackrabbit clinging to my leg, chirp? Please say it isn't so, Benny. How could you not remember me? I do know a fox shrine maiden who looks just like you, but I feel nothing towards you whatsoever. It can't be. I mean, I'm certainly used to you being cold to me, but this is too much. You would still be your disgraceful alter self if it wasn't for me. That was no disgrace. Eventually, I will act as a proxy for the 10 Kings. That means I will one day grow up into the form you saw earlier. And that's nothing to be ashamed of, chirp. My disgrace was in you dodging my Needle Mountain sword. I can't believe I was still so immature that I let you goad me into using such wild swings like that.
Not at all, Benny Enma. Your sword technique was a wonder to behold. I must say, between your guns and swords, human tools simply astound me.
More importantly, what about your command spells, Ventox? Did you get any back? Number 2, but I still can't use it.
Oh ho. Only one left to go. Then it stands to reason we'll find it with the guardian of the third underworld.
That bat man had some nerve, using your command spells for his twisted ends. Fortunately, what he did has given me some new power. It's a shame that I can only remain here in Mictlan as a guardian of the underworld. But thanks to that, I can now become a grown-up whenever I want, chirp. I can put on that costume whenever I want, and
rub it further into the faces of FGO's player base.
Please go on ahead, everyone. Don't worry about me. In your next battle, when you face an enemy that you must put all your body and soul into striking down, that is when I will show you the power of the Enma's true ultimate art, chirp.
What next battle? I thought this was it. I thought the Lostbelt was over.
Come now. I may no longer be an alter, but I am still a guardian of the underworld. I'm certain you'll need to fight another great battle in the boundary of the underworld.
Oh, in this boundary of the underworld.
So until that time comes, I'll be here training. Especially now that I have someone to help me train, chirp. Huh?
I'm assuming that's in reference to Gramps? I'm confused as to where Koyan and Benny first met because she's acting like this isn't the first time, but I have no recollection of a Benny and Koyan relationship. That would be Tunguska, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So it's the version of Light Tamamo's second ascension without the, like, big jacket. I don't remember Benny and Tunguska. I honestly don't remember this either. Light is just the only time she's really appeared outside of the main story was Tunguska, from what I recall. Okay, the Lost City of Water. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to mean we get another visit from Tlaloc, who I am excited to roll for. Well, okay, let me step back. I am excited for maybe the possibility of rolling for her. So far, she is my favorite of the new characters that I've seen that I have confirmed will be summonable, which is Tlaloc, and it's not necessarily 1000% guaranteed, but I hesitate to expect that they would put Tezcatlipoca on the, like, pre-release campaign here if he was not summonable. So I'm guessing that our options are going to be Tlaloc and Tezcatlipoca. It definitely sounds like we are gearing up for Kukulkan to be a major player in the Lostbelt. Kukulkan's probably going to get summonable. And there was one other name that came up that I don't remember that may or may not come up. But so far, if I was to guess anything, I would guess that our summonable servants are going to be Kukulkan, Tezcatlipoca, and Tlaloc. The thing is, Tlaloc gives me 4-star vibes, but I could absolutely see her being a 5-star as well. Like, all 3 of these characters are major gods. Like, Tezcatlipoca and Tlaloc are siblings. And then Kukulkan, in the canon of the Lostbelt at the very least, is like... The sun is like a major figure, probably more so than Tezcatlipoca. Stop thinking and hydrate. I can do both of those things. Cheers. Oh, no. That's not... Is that Ma? Yeah, that's Ma. Okay, we're good. Whew! Scared me for a minute. I almost thought I lost it. Alrighty, I am going to go ahead and take a break, though. I'm going to need to refill on my water, and also it's freezing in here, and I need to go turn the heat up. I am not used to living in a place that's not Florida, so I'm still kind of adjusting. So I will be back in just a couple minutes, and then Section 9, the Lost City of Water, as we march towards being done with Lostbelt 7 until the new part. So that's exciting. I'll see you in a few. Alright, we're back. And vastly approaching the end of the content we have available, so that's exciting. Hey, what's up, Risei? How long did it take to do the Benny fight? Honestly, it took us 3 tries, but I think I could have done it on the first try. I made a bad mistake, but I think I could have done it blind. I was really close. I knocked her out of sleep at a bad moment when I should have just left her asleep. Yeah, exactly. So that fight was good. I really like fights like that, like something that I can do in 3 tries, but that makes me really think about how I'm going to achieve that. Something that's not like oppressively difficult, but just requires a reframing of how you think about approaching the combat. Like, very rarely would I ever think about using an instant death resist CE, but I did. And like, I really had to specifically control my taunt timing, and I needed to manage my damage very specifically. I happened to guess the math correctly, so that worked out nicely. AKA anything that isn't Fluffy, yeah. Honestly, if I never see Fluffy again, it's probably too soon. However, I know what awaits us in July, probably. So, Section 11, the Lost City of Water, I think it said. Please set one of the following servants as a starting member. Okay, so I can just take whomever I want. So Phantom of the Opera with Chaldea Tea Time is what I'm looking for during story. But if you've got Phantom of the Opera with the Kirshtaria CE, just leave that on because I am just grinding friend points. Have you done the Fluffy Redux in Dante's Interlude? No, I have not. Oh boy, he awaits me again. No, anything but that. Come on, why won't you let me put my Phantom where he belongs? Oh well. Alright, we're gonna put K-Scope back on Phantom. We leave Oberon in, and Rasputin. Alright, I think this is what we have to go with. I am starting to come around to the idea of just grailing my Bazette. Like, oh! Okay, cool, just straight into a fight. She's not NP2, but... Oh, did the audio not work? There we go. She's not NP2, but like, I have so many grails at this point, and I don't think I'm going to go through that many of them at any point ever, so I figure I'll just make some exceptions starting now. I know about the God Juna and Zeus and Canuses. Huh? Yeah, that tracks. Oh, Koyan has a taunt CE? Oh no, do they just enforce... Incredible. Man, that reminds me of when I was playing Armored Core and I spent hours recreating this NFF logo right here in the Emblem Maker. That was honestly a little bit mind-numbing. Oh yeah, you're right. This is technically a boss, isn't it? Okay. Well, we're gonna save Light Koyan's Noble Phantasm. Well, you know what? Okay, yeah, here's what we're gonna do. Koyan's just gonna be our DPS until we take down the boss. She's 888 because this game is stupid. Ugh. Why would you not give me a 10-10-10 servant? This should be illegal. I was planning on, you know, Koyan, Noble Phantasm this turn, break the bar. Then Koyan will get a Buster card next turn and break the bar. And now it's just all wasted. It's all gone. Game over. We're gonna charm the tank. Like, it's not game over. We're fine. Well, I might not actually be able to break this bar this turn, which is a real shame. Wow. I am used to my Koyan's damage output, which is a little bit better. Just a hair. Tezuka reversed engineered the tank, but kept the color and the NFF logo. Look, you can't discount the style. Koyan knew what she's about, okay? They started doing 888 and Lostbelt 7 when they've been giving you 10-10-10 since forever, yeah. I like how Phantom's so charming that he can charm inanimate objects. Well, theoretically, Phantom is charming the operator of the tank, right? Pink tank versus pink tank. One of them is a pink mech, not a pink tank. Wow, dang, that NP gain though. Wowza. Hot dog, that is pretty nice. Should I rah-rah Rasputin right now? Yeah, I think I will. I really... Well, you know what? I shouldn't because... Yeah, we're fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. Never doubted for a second. I remember doing the latest JP story and was mauling because it was a forced full team of 888 supports. Yeah, I feel like FGO is generous enough with its resources that for most of the characters that any given player is used to using, they will be used to using them at 10-10-10. Okay, what do we got here? One turn evade. That's fine. I'll just go for crit stars. This is my favorite of his ascensions for sure. I'm keeping him in random, but second is easily my favorite. I like the hair better. I like the outfit. I just wish it said Grigori Rasputin instead of Father Kotomine. Okay, an Oberon crit certainly wouldn't deal 100. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's got guts. Oh, amazing. Oh, hell yeah. That's fantastic. Go Phantom up a little bit. Then go like this. Now this probably won't, well, maybe it will. I don't know if the tank is lawful. Guts, aka Vent's favorite buff on enemies. No joke, if there was a servant who enforced Guts upon an enemy, I would roll for that servant explicitly and strictly for that one purpose. Shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Let's heal Phantom. Well, I can do that. That's fine. That enforced Guts, yeah. If I had a servant who could give Guts to an enemy, that would basically solve all of my Phantom killing blow problems for the rest of forever. It would, unfortunately, mean that I would have to devise a way to slot in that other servant as well as Phantom, which would make my boss killing setups more restrictive. So there would be a trade-off, but like, that would be a trade-off I'd be very willing to take. I'm really hoping that the next wave doesn't have any enemies with break bars. I don't know how big that defense up is, but you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride. How bad could it be? Ah, it was bad. Okay. Okay, never punished. Okay, kind of punished. Is that one turn evade? Yes, it is. All right, I should have just done what I was planning on doing in the first place. Oh, well, sometimes you do get punished. You know, I was hoping that that would be 1 HP remaining. Fortunately, I don't get punished. We end up with a Phantom Brave Chain, so there is no concern about us not landing the kill. Come on, no break bars, no boss fight. Hey, let's go. Phantom can die as long as someone survives. We're good. 4 organism wave, huh? Okay. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Here's what we do. 1, 2. And then Oberon Brave Chain, but it doesn't matter because I'm not really worried about not doing damage because we're just stripping the buffs. And then Koyanskaya's got all of her stuff ready to go. Boss in the middle wave is something else. I respect it, honestly. A little bit of variety is good. It spices up the gameplay a little bit. It's fun to have your expectations subverted. Oh yeah, remember that Oberon's NP removes attack buffs? Because that matters. Alright, Koryan Chihuahua, show them what you've got. I wish it was my Koryan Chihuahua, she'd be much stronger. I've been wondering if we'd ever get free quests with breakbar enemies. I doubt it, but I would appreciate it. Honestly, I think that would be really cool, and it would give single target servants an opportunity to shine in farming. I mean, it does matter when they give him a super recollection fight, that is true. That is very true. Oberon as an enemy is an entirely different beast. Okay, I've got 10 obsidian daggers so far. Finally, voice acting. I can give my own voice a rest.
Oh my. This is not what I was expecting.
Uruk's got nothing on this place. Sorry, Gil.
It's true. There are so many people everywhere that you look. There must be at least 30,000 coming and going on the main street alone. Oh yes, isn't it wonderful? Mexico City is currently home to 100,000, all Oselame warriors. The non-combatants, women and children, have built villages in the neighboring jungles, where they work to support Mexico City.
So this city was built solely for commerce. Or rather ritual purposes, then. And what's more, you're saying they didn't do so on top of the ruins of an existing city like with Chichen Itza. That they actually built this enormous metropolis from scratch.
Not quite. I hate to admit it, but the actual city itself was provided by Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca, the divine spirit Daebit of the Cryptors summoned. He gave the Oselame civilization in the form of this city, and revived Aztec mythology here in Mictlan. So here they worship the Black Sun, Tezcatlipoca, the Smoking Mirror, as opposed to Kukulkan.
Is that two different titles for him? Both the Black Sun Tezcatlipoca and the Smoking Mirror Tezcatlipoca? That's the only context that I understand that sentence in. As a species, Ocelome are much weaker than dinos, but thanks to their far greater numbers, their adaptability, and most importantly, their aggressive nature, something the dinos entirely lack, they've flourished, as you can see. I understand that this Tezcatlipoca guy and the Ocelome are Chaldea's enemies. But all that aside, I've gotta say, this city doesn't suck. It's full to bursting with the energy of people determined to live and improve their lives. If anything, this city is closer to the colors Ventox and Mashimit than anywhere I've ever seen.
Young miss, as an aspiring leader, I must advise against making statements which might hurt or offend your supporters, especially when they're standing right beside you.
What are you talking about? I'm not saying the Ocelome are better than the dinos or anything. Did you not hear all that aside? Did you not hear that part? Besides, if we're talking about who I like more, I like Tepeo 100 times more. He's way smarter and nicer than any Ocelome I've ever met. Just look at him smile, man. I would die for that smile. Anyway, I think you've got a sense for Mexico City now, right? Then let's get to the reason we came here. Chaldea's abducted staff. Leonardo da Vinci, Shion Eltnam, oh yeah, that's right, the petrified Nemo, and Kadak. I suggest our first order of business should be to find out where they're being held.
Does that mean you think we should split up? I'm not sure that's a good idea. We may look like the Ocelome to the people here thanks to my disguise spell, but we still can't understand them.
It's true. Even the Ordinax's built-in translator doesn't seem to work with their language.
That neatly rules out gathering information by converse.
Alright, we're starting that sentence over. It's a domino effect. I trip up once, and then something in my brain goes, oh, whoops, you screwed up, gotta go back and fix that, and that trips up my ability to continue reading ahead, and it just spirals out of control.
That neatly rules out gathering information by conversing with the locals. So our only choice is to search for a likely holding area on foot. Somewhere heavily guarded, perhaps, or where we can sense Nemo's presence. Of course, were I in Tezcatlipoca's position, I'd keep them somewhere which would block detection of such things.
What about those two buildings in the center of the city?
I think those are twin temples. They're both about 60 meters tall. Each has a path leading up to its roof, and I can see what looks like altars in the center between them. Oh yes, those are the sacrificial altars where they pluck out the still beating hearts of their sacrifices. But that's not important right now, so we can save that topic for later. Those temples are dedicated to Tlaloc,
And this was the other name I saw, I think. Huitzilopochtli. I really hope that's not a summonable servant, because I'm never going to get used to that one. Huitzilopochtli. 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 I think that's right. Good night. I have not played past this part, so I'll be watching it later. All right. Peace out, Denner. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the Lostbelt as much as I have enjoyed it up to this point. Huitzilopochtli's temple contains a divine space for Tezcatlipoca to rest, and Tlaloc's temple contains the throne of the Ocelome's king. I'm afraid your disguise spell won't work on Tezcatlipoca, Father Kotamine. And since he'll almost certainly kill us the moment he sees us, we should keep our distance from those temples. What about Daebit?
Daebit rarely comes to Mexico City. The other times I've come here, he was out in the jungle investigating old ruins. It seemed pretty clear he was leaving city matters, that is, the war between the Dinos and the Ocelome, in Tezcatlipoca's hands. So that he could focus his entire personality.
Nope. I'm done. My brain is cooked. I got 5 hours of sleep last night.
Also, he could focus entirely on his personal fieldwork. I swear, I still can't tell if he hates being a cryptor or loves it.
So who's Huitzilopochtli?
Huitzilopochtli is said to be the Aztec tribal god of the sun and war. When the Aztec people lost their land and were forced to wander around Central America, Huitzilopochtli guided them to Metztliapan, the Lake of the Moon. He's a war god who demanded countless sacrifices as fuel with which to move the sun. It's said he wields the fiery snake Xiuhcoatl.
Oh man. I would never have expected Xiuhcoatl to appear, even by name, in this Lostbelt, but I should have put it on the bingo board. Damn it.
It is said he wields the fiery snake Xiuhcoatl as a weapon that he has blue arms and legs. This has led some people to claiming he was actually the god Tezcatlipoca from Mayan mythology before the Aztec people adopted him.
Okay, there's Quetzalcoatl again. Does Xiuhcoatl have anything with Quetzalcoatl? Not quite, but yes.
Yes. Since that guy wielded Xiuhcoatl as a weapon, he was said to be an enemy of Quetzalcoatl.
Well, never mind that. It sounds like we can go around the city as we like, yeah? This will be my first time getting to see actual humans in their element. Ventox, Mash, I'm counting on you two to explain anything I don't understand.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, young miss. Since we can't actually speak to anyone here, we'll need to make more effective use of our resources. Given the possibility of unforeseen complications, I think it'd be best if you and Tepeyu waited outside the city.
I'm gonna let him give his reasoning, but I disagree. What? How come?
It's because of my size, isn't it? I may look like an ocelotl, but I'll still bump into people in large crowds. And similarly...
Oh, right. Olga Marie's horns.
Alright, you know what? That's fair, actually. Can't we just pop those horns off? You say the most bizarre things sometimes. You know that, right? And of course we can't. And don't ask me to make them smaller. Believe me, I've already made them as compact as I possibly can.
I'm so sorry, Olga Marie, but I think we need you to do the prudent thing this time.
Yeah, okay, your companions' lives are hanging in the balance here. Fine, I'll save my colonial observations for another time. But in exchange, I want you and Ventox to get a good look at this city in my place. If we're going to fight the Ocelome, learning about their culture, ideology, and way of life is the least we can do. I know we've had to fight them without knowing anything about them so far, but things are different now that we have a chance to learn. And since you'll be acting as my special secretaries, I don't want you two using ignorance as an excuse for brutality. A very different Olga Marie. Or rather, a very different you, Olga Marie. I don't know, guys. We're hitting the end of what we've got available to us, and haven't even had any, like, god-awful boss fights. Fate Grand Order is losing its bite. Olga sure drank the Chaldea Kool-Aid real quick, much faster than Gordolf. Well, and that is why Gordolf is goated. Because it took time and you actually got to see growth happen. You got to see growth happen. Not just change, but growth.
I'll start checking the alleys off the main road. If things take a turn for the worst, I'll come rescue you on my motorcycle.
God, I want that to happen.
I'll look around the temples. Don't worry, I'll keep my distance. I just want to get a handle on their structure. You two should take the main street. Don't forget to behave like Ocelome.
But do you not remember the wall that is Fluffy? If anything ever goes Fluffy level again, let's be honest. I was gonna say I'm not going to try, but let's be honest. We all know me. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna fail, and then I'm just gonna give up after like 8,000 attempts.
Looks like we have a big street to cover. It's a shame that we won't be able to talk to any of the Ocelome since we don't understand their language.
Habitrot, make sure you stay on standby in your spirit form.
Yeah, I know. There are no child Oselame in the city, so it'd only draw more attention if I materialized and used a disguise. Besides, I can always pop out and help you fight in an emergency. Don't worry about me. You two take your time looking around.
You're gonna throw your head against the brick wall 495 times before using the revive cubes. It's not technically against the rules. They didn't exist when I wrote the rules. Didn't see anything that looked like a jail or a police station.
Yes, this street was nothing but shops. Although, don't you think this city feels a little too lively? It's hard to be sure since everyone's wearing masks, but they all seem strangely on edge.
I don't know if I'd say lively so much as frenetic.
I don't like this. I'm worried about those who were captured. I know it's dangerous, but I think we're going to have to talk to the Oselame if we're going to get any information.
Who could this be? It could be Koyanskaya.
Queen of Sheba?
I'm gonna be really excited if this is Queen of Sheba.
Huh?
What do you mean you won't trade with me? Last time you said this was worth the same as 10 rattlesnakes. Huh? You don't need any more because the ritual's tomorrow. Oh, I see. So you already have enough blood. That makes sense. Ah, man. And after all the work that I put into catching these to trade for that beautiful barrette.
Senpai? I think that sounded like...
That was definitely a language from proper human history, but who? Plant mineral? God, fire, sun lady? Who I have assumed up to this point to be Kukulkan? Okay. So first of all, first impressions here. I'm thinking that the mask here is a story bit, and that's like her disguising herself as an Oselame, and that's not part of her actual design, so I'll wait to see the rest of her face. I really, really like what's going on with the hair. I like the color that we have going on, both in like the top layer of her hair with this like nice, very cool blue and white, and then I really like this kind of emerald crystalline thing that we've got going on the inside. She's got a like Aztec dragon snake icon on her jacket, which makes me think we're related in some way to possibly Quetzalcoatl. This could be like a Quetzalt in some weird way. This could be Kukulkan, who is like a Mayan version of Quetz. She's got fringe, and like, you can hit or miss with fringe. I feel like there's no middle ground with fringe. You can either make fringe work, or it is cringe. But in this case, fringe ain't cringe. I think she's pulling it off. I don't know what's going on with this like triangle thing down her stomach. I can't quite tell what's going on here. So I'm gonna ignore that for now. Oh, are those chaps? Is she wearing chaps? Yeah, it looks like she has cut off booty shorts, like booty jorts, and chaps. I like the bracelets, I like the jewelry. I need to see her face though. That's the number one thing. You mean me? Well, thank you for talking to...
I was right. Excuse me, about the language you're speaking, or rather, we're speaking.
Oh, don't worry, sir. They're not speaking Dinos language. Oh, hang on. I get a little bit more view of the leg. I get more view of the ass is what I get view of. Hot dog. Okay. All right, then. Would you count Kukulkan as a Quetzalt for your bingo board? So my current understanding of Kukulkan is that she is... I assume this is her. Is that she is basically like the Mayan precursor to Quetzalcoatl in kind of the same way that like Mars becomes Zeus in Greek to Roman. I'm leaning towards yes, but I'm gonna give it some time and see like how it manifests if I'm right. If there's any overlap, like if they actually mention the words Piedra del Sol, if Piedra del Sol appears as a concept and is related to Kukulkan, then yep, Kukulkan is a Quetzal. Done. If they have like thematic overlap, if they've got some design overlaps that I have not already seen, then I think that is going to work for me. Zeus becomes, yeah, whatever I said was wrong, but yeah, you get the point. Assless chaps, strangely enough, I've seen them in real life before. So here's a little bit of personal pet peeve for me. The phrase assless chaps, because there is no such thing as ass-possessing chaps. That's just pants. Chaps are assless by definition. That is what makes them chaps. Stop thinking. No. You will hear my diatribe about assless chaps and you will like it. Alright, we move on. This is the new language Tezcatlipoca's priest David uses. It's not easy to learn, but it makes for much more precise communication than ocelotl words and gestures, so it's very handy. Just be patient. It won't be long before you'll get to learn it in school too. Now then, where were we? Nice to meet you, travelers. My name's Quautli. Quautli? Okay. What are yours? I see you learned how to speak proper human history language too, just like King Iskali. Okay, one other thing I'm going to say. I do not think a character that is this designed would not be summonable. However, I said the same damn thing about Komazotes, and here we are. So if she is also in NPC hell, then God help us all. Iskali. He can stay in NPC hell. That's fine. I don't care about him. So, how come you went out of your way to talk to me in a foreign language? Are you trying to beef up security ahead of tomorrow's ritual? I guess the rumors about Chaldean conquerors in the area must be true. But sorry, I'm not a soldier myself. I just came to Mexico City today to get this beautiful jade barrette. So I'm afraid I can't take part in the sacrificial ritual. I'm a landscaper and a farmer, not a fighter. So all the female Oselame do live outside the city, just like Koyanskaya said. I'm not sure this lady knows too much about Mexico City, Master. What would you like to do? See, okay. Have we met before? Maybe. The jungle is pretty thick and it's easy to lose sight of things in there. So maybe we passed each other without realizing it. Or maybe you've traveled with someone who looks a lot like me. What a lovely coincidence that would be. You smell honey. From him? And you would be willing to trade for that? Just out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to have anything sweet on you, would you? You mean like this? Oh wow, I don't need to understand what he's saying to know this has him really excited. He seems to be asking to trade for it. I don't know, it got us out of like the death penalty with the Dinosaur King, so I feel like trading it to you for no reason might be a poor tactical move here. Chocolate Skull Salame's Valentine Sea. It is a oh, what's it called? Azucar Calavera, I believe. A sugar skull. So that was actually the first thing I thought when I saw Salame's CEs, but no, it is a primarily Mexican tradition, I believe. And here you go. You know, people have translated the Lamu. I wonder if people have translated the Ocelotl. I have wondered the same thing because as I was looking at it, actually, now that I go back, maybe not. I was noticing this particular symbol right here, I think. No, maybe they just... Maybe it's a different font, and the font got changed for the log. Next time we get Ocelotl language, I'm gonna take a closer look and describe what I was trying to talk about. It's actually a good interpretation of trade during those times. Cacao, if I recall correctly, was a very useful trade item for those times, apart from silver and gold. But, like, just from an in-canon perspective, the last time that we needed this, we were facing the Dinosaur King, and he was not very happy with us, and then we showed it to him. We didn't give it to him, we just showed it to him, and he was like, oh, okay, fine, you're cool. And then that neutralized the hostility. So I feel like this thing is a tactical advantage that we could probably press in the future, and instead we're trading it to some rando on the street. You're giving this to me? May I ask why? Because I doubt I'll ever meet someone who looks like you again. Oh boy. Gudao is laying on the charm. I see. So that's how you think. Okay then, don't mind if I do. Wow, a human's never given me a present before. Let me tell you something that just might help you out, as my way of thanking you. The Chaldean conquerors King Iskali and Tezcatlipoca brought here are scheduled to be sacrificed tomorrow. They all have special blood, so they've been chosen as sacrifices to the sun. So if you wanted to, say, rescue them, I'd get on that as quickly as I could if I were you. Otherwise, you might wind up having to fight all the 100,000 Oseleme in the city at once. Then again, being clever is kind of what you people from proper human history are about. Isn't it, Ventox? Wait! Come back! Oh, don't play this game with me. Don't play this game. Don't make me chase you. I don't want someone playing hard to get. I'm sorry, Senpai. I lost track of her. She wasn't especially fast, but she slipped through the crowd almost like wind through tree leaves. I don't think anyone could have caught her. Playing hard to get indeed, yep. He does love to rizz up randos during Lostbelts, but this was an extra layer. Right. If what she said was true, then we don't have a moment to lose. Let's hurry and find the others so that we can come up with a plan. Okay, so she knows about proper human history. She knows about us specifically. She knows about the Cryptor. I mean, I guess most people know about the Cryptor. I've got to say, I'm not crazy about you, Olga Marie's design as a whole, but her expressions have been very delightful throughout this Lostbelt. Like, every time they show a new face, I'm always like, yeah, she has really very expressive faces. She looks fun. She's entertaining. I've been trying to get you to see the meaning of her name for several months. I'm so sorry. I'm so focused. That's the thing. I'm invested. I can't pronounce this one correctly. Quatli is a Nahuatl word that means eagle. The Aztecs revered the eagle as a symbol of strength, bravery, and the divine. The name Quatli was often given to esteemed warriors and leaders and was associated with power and distinction. There you go. She's definitely an important character. I don't know what the importance is going to be. I think that's Kukulkan, because I think that Kukulkan was the giant plant mineral god sun lady that smashed us down at the beginning of the fight, or the Lostbelt, and she has the same color scheme. And that is also the same color scheme as the plant that was growing up out of the temple at Chichen Itza that had the Piedra del Sol. So, like, all of these threads are pulling together for me to think, like, this is the proto Quetzalcoatl. Forgive him for being distracted by a charming lady, Dor. Me? Never. Never. They're going to sacrifice the Chaldeans? By plucking out their still beating hearts? What the heck did they do to deserve that? I wouldn't punish someone like that even for defaming the president.
You're mistaken, young miss. These sacrifices are not criminals. The Aztecs offer up their hearts as a holy act. A sinner would not be given this privilege, even were they to ask for it. Those typically chosen as sacrifices are warriors from defeated enemy tribes, or people, pardon me, raised specifically to be sacrificed.
I know that. That's the whole human sacrifice thing, right? But that doesn't change the fact that they are killing prisoners. These rulers should be ashamed of themselves killing outsiders and hoping it'll make things better for themselves.
Just remember this feeling for the future, Olga Marie.
She really is. The circumstances our friends are in seem to be genuinely upsetting her.
I'm upset because I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed that I was so impressed by the Ocelame building such a big city that I gave them 4 stars.
Excuse me, may I ask a question? Why sacrifice them? Did this sort of thing happen in proper human history as well? I understand that it's more important to focus on how we're going to rescue the 4 Chaldeans before they're sacrificed, but...
Not at all. These are precisely the questions which will allow us to begin understanding the Ocelame, which may be key in rescuing the hostages. It's quite a pertinent question, Tepu. In fact, I have a question for you as well, but it can wait until later. For the moment, this represents a good chance to explain the purpose human sacrifice played in Aztec civilization. I advise you to listen well too, Ventox.
Yeah, this seems like something I should know. This seems probably relevant.
Alright, I'll try to be as concise as I can. The Aztecs were not the first civilization in Central America. Some, such as the Olmecs and the Zapotecs, predate even the Aztecs. And as Aztec mythology was the last to originate in Mesoamerica, it was heavily influenced by Mayan mythology, which itself was influenced by the Olmecs. My thinking is that the mythologies of Latin America are not separated by tribe or civilization, but rather that there is some sort of shared remembrance of the creation of the world continuously passed on by all who lived here.
Remembrance, Is this like some sort of image the jungle has planted into people's minds?
That's right. Remember, this land is vast, and these intertribal conflicts were a constant part of their daily lives. So the people who lived there would never be so greedy, or perhaps arbitrary, as to mix in their own motives with their creation myths. No, I suspect they simply built up their myths based on whatever they were feeling at the time, which surely included staring into the jungle's swirling darkness and harmonizing with it.
True. Compared to other mythologies, Mesoamerica's cosmological timeline is fairly fractured. Similar meanings carry different names, and even its perception of time is highly unusual.
Is that a mix-up? Similar names carry different meanings?
So while we do have written historical records, it's difficult to piece everything together and keep it free of contradictions. And you think that's because this mythology wasn't created by humans, but was instead created by the land itself, or possibly something greater still?
Indeed. The people of Central America never kept large livestock, never used vehicles to transport anything, and never rode animals. Though they had all the necessary knowledge to do so had they wished. I can only assume they intentionally denied themselves any development which might have made their lives easier or more comfortable if it meant humans reigned supreme in the jungle. In contrast to this, they were intensely interested in astronomy. Unusually so, one could argue.
I would disagree with that also. I think that astronomy is like the foundation of human advancement. I think that the practice of astronomy historically is what gives rise to complex mathematics, which is the foundation of most advancements. Yeah, exactly. Telescopes, for example, yield a lot of other technology.
Their astronomical techniques were by far the most accurate of any other ancient civilization. Suffice to say, they were extremely interested in, as well as respectful and fearful of, outer space. Why? The answer is obvious. Their ancestors were once threatened or even victimized by something which came from it. The memories of the very land they lived in told them that their world had once been destroyed by something alien to it. In fact, in Aztec mythology, the world meets its end several times. Do you know how many times, Ventox?
I remember Mash saying it was...
That's right. 5 times. Well, 4 to be precise, because in Aztec mythology, the 5th time is the age we are living in now. While there are tales of the world itself being destroyed in other mythologies, tales of it being destroyed and rebuilt time and time again are unique to the Aztecs and also Lostbelt 4. Suffice to say, in Aztec civilization, Really, in all of Central America, the land holds clear memories of devastation and rebirth, and the people who lived there took that as a lesson.
I see. If something like that were to happen multiple times, it would be sensible for people to learn from and prepare for it. So you say they learned to practice astronomy, and their way to address the dangers they saw was these human sacrifices.
Indeed. The Aztecs believed that the world would end every 52 years.
Years?
It would supposedly take place on the day their two calendars, what was that? No. Xiupohualli, their agricultural calendar, and Tonalpohualli, their sacred calendar, aligned. On this day, the sun would lose its power, and the world would be plunged into darkness. And that is a very brief overview of Aztec eschatology. I'm not familiar with that word. Eschatology? During the twilight of this day, the Aztec people would hold a grand ceremony in their capital city of Tenochtitlan. People would put out each and every fire in their homes and village. These symbolized the old years. They would then offer their own blood for the ceremony, fervently praying for the sun's return out of fear tomorrow may never come. Eschatology is the study of the end times. What a niche word to exist. That's awesome. I will be incorporating that into my vocabulary post-haste. Oh man. So last night, my D&D group, one of our players couldn't make it because he's traveling for a little while, so we took a little bit of a break and went into playing Pathfinder 2 instead. First time for most of us. And one of the things with Pathfinder is you can have like unique lore skills that are kind of custom built. So if your character is very knowledgeable about something in particular, then you can write that down on your character sheet as like the lore skill. So my character, for example, was a shaman kind of guy. So he had lore in occultism, or like I had options where I could get lore in fortune telling or lore in circuses. Like you can get like really, really specific. There is one of my friends had lore in esoterica, which is just for like, you know, the lost and weird, obscure knowledge specifically. Eschatology would make a really, really good lore skill in Pathfinder. Eschatology concerns expectations of the end of the present age, human history, or the world itself. It is always a good day when I learn a new exciting word. It's more prominent as an area in theology. That makes sense. I've never been much of a theologian. I've never really studied modern theology. I have a passing, you know, understanding of most of the classical theologies. You know, everybody knows the Greek myths. Everybody knows a lot of the Christian Bible that's the surface level stories. But like Norse mythology is probably the only mythology that I'd say I have a more in-depth knowledge on. There's like a wide breadth of Eastern and Southeastern Asian theology that I have no idea about. Anyway, moving on. The belief was that this would grant the sun sufficient power to keep the world alive for the next 52 years, allowing the world to be reborn. Human sacrifices were neither an offering to the gods, nor a means of controlling the populace. They were the embodiment of the people's wish for the world to be born again. In Aztec mythology, there is no way to save the world from devastation. It is inevitable. That was the common understanding among all the people of Central America. The fact that they simply accepted the sun's death and the world's end as facts of life goes to show how harsh and unforgiving life must have been for them.
I can't believe it. You're all from proper human history, and you're all so gentle and rational. To take such utter madness so seriously. Did no one point out to them that the sun operates quite independently of any human intervention?
Madness or not, this was their truth. Only those who were alive at the time can take issue with it. All we can do now is remember and record their experiences. That being said, I believe that in terms of magecraft, this was all very much real. The fact is, once the Aztecs stopped making human sacrifices, their empire came to an end. Their mythology and their world is now completely gone. Okay, so here's where my knowledge of fate-isms kind of falls apart, because to me it sounds like we're falling straight back into Quetzalcoatl. Because as I recall, in Fate lore, Quetzalcoatl was a virus that arrived to the Earth on a meteor. And so that would line up very nicely with Kire saying that this mythology is real to that land and to that history, and also the whole like something devastating came from outer space. So like I don't know if that's going to end up being Ort, or if that's going to end up being Quetzalcoatl / Kukulkan, or if it's, you know, a split from proper human history and this Lostbelt. Her Santa NP is literally the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs? No, it is a Christmas gift. Very, very different, Zeke. Ort counter? Yes, the Ort counter is for every time the word Ort is said. I was assured that this was gonna be like climbing sky high, but nah. Most of this happened in a single arrow. I should have had an IC counter instead. Huh? That's news to me. Is this just your own weird interpretation of things? This interpretation is all in keeping with their mythology, Koyanskaya. You may recall that earlier I said Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl used to feud. But I never said what it was they were feuding over. After everything I've told you, perhaps now you can say what it is they disagreed on, Ventox.
I've gotta. I mean, like, I have to. There's only one correct option here. Pro wrestling and guns?
Exactly what is the Quetzalcoatl you know like? Some kind of meathead noblewoman? No matter, Quetzalcoatl would always have been delighted to see the human race living well now, and to see their lands boast a flourishing civilization. At any rate, the correct answer is the ritual of human sacrifice. Some legends have posited that of the Aztec pantheon, Quetzalcoatl was the only god who opposed human sacrifices. Tezcatlipoca, on the other hand, was all for it. You can learn a great deal about these gods' natures from this conflict alone. Tezcatlipoca believed strongly in upholding the land's teaching and protecting the Mesoamerican people. Meanwhile, Quetzalcoatl believed people's lives could and should be better, and wanted to get rid of what he saw as old-fashioned, obsolete beliefs. When Spaniards first arrived in Central America in the 16th century, they were astonished at the Aztec Empire's prosperity and the glittering city of Tenochtitlan. One can imagine them saying something like, "This must be the greatest watertop city in the entire world." And yet, they not only continue the barbaric practice of human sacrifice, but it remains a core part of their religion. The Spaniards quickly found similarities between Quetzalcoatl and the Christian saints, so they decreed him the good god. And almost by default, Tezcatlipoca, his rival and opposite in many ways, was labeled evil. In spite of this, Moctezuma II, the king of Tenochtitlan at the time, not only let Hernan Cortés, leader of the Spaniards and eventual conqueror of Aztecs, into the city. You may recall he did so with open arms. So, why did he invite Cortés into his city? Some say it's because he believed Cortés was Quetzalcoatl, whose second coming was prophesied after his banishing. But that doesn't quite make sense. Tenochtitlan worshipped the rain god Tlaloc, and the tribal god Huitzilopochtli at the time. So why would the king be so willing to welcome Quetzalcoatl, whose legends state he opposed the very ritual sacrifice his city's gods encouraged?
Now that you mention it, it doesn't make sense. People say Cortés tricked Moctezuma II. Thinking about it, though, that seems just as impossible. It seems just as possible that Moctezuma was actually using Cortés himself.
Exactly. The historical record tells us that Moctezuma II was relatively weak compared to other well-known rulers.
I do have a question. This is a little bit of a tangent, but the first introduction that I had to this historical figure was as the name Montezuma, with an N instead of a C, Moctezuma. Am I conflating two different historical figures, or is there some linguistic drift that had happened over time, or are scholars like changing how his name is pronounced?
But he was also wise, open-minded, and above all, had the vision to imagine a better future for the Aztec Empire, sharing similar values to Quetzalcoatl. It may be that he believed the Aztec Empire's neighboring tribes would eventually destroy them, and so brought in an outside power in the form of the Spaniards. For that to happen, he knew he would have to destroy the foundation of human sacrifice upon which their culture was built. When Cortez showed up and was said to be the second coming of Quetzalcoatl, Moctezuma II saw him as a tool to be used.
Same person, different spelling? Montezuma was how Spaniards wrote it, but it's more accurate as Moctezuma. I've even read Moctezuma in university. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good to know. I feel like I am just such a nerd for any sort of like linguistic trivia. I just really enjoy linguistics. Apparently he himself said Moctezuma, so Montezuma is an exonym. Good to know. Surely the next time I go to trivia night, this is going to come up.
So he invited the conquistador into his city, knowing he was poisonous. But then he found himself on the losing side of the game that the two of them were playing. Cortez was a foreigner. He knew absolutely nothing of Mesoamerican cultures. So my guess is that Moctezuma II thought that it would be easy to make use of him. But before he and Moctezuma II met, Cortez met a woman who would prove to be his very own good luck charm. A local woman called Malintzin, nowadays nicknamed La Malinche.
Am I pronouncing that right? Is it La Malinche? Is it 3 syllables? Malinche? That's probably it. La Malinche. Yeah, that sounds correct.
The daughter of a noblewoman, La Malinche was an intelligent woman who had been sold to a rival tribe as a slave. She was then taken by Spaniards as spoils of war after they defeated La Malinche's new tribe in battle. Her noble background and education meant she had no trouble learning their language. She taught Cortez about the Aztec Empire's language and culture, and investigated its weaknesses for him. Consequently, it is believed that Moctezuma II was the one who wound up deceived, and the Aztec Empire fell to the Spanish one. It's said that the Spaniards' victory was a miracle since they had only 600 cavalry to the Aztecs' 200,000 soldiers. But the truth is, La Malinche was the true cause of the Aztec Empire's downfall. Her, and a coalition of all the rival tribes the Aztecs had been subjugating for years. Though, of course, once the Aztec Empire was gone, the Spaniards would go on to eradicate those other tribes as well.
I see. And so the Emperor who thought to stop the ritual of human sacrifice is the man who invited the Aztec Empire's downfall. The end result is that their culture ground to a complete stop. Thus, paradoxically, it would have been better for the ritual to continue. Is that your argument?
Yes, though only if we set aside questions of ethics and human rights. For it was just when a dull gray light was shone upon their ritual of rebirth, a mystic dating back to the age of myth, that their son died. Now, here is my question for you, Tepeu. Has the sun ever gone out in Mictlan?
So that's why he brought this up.
Yes, it has. I've never experienced it myself, but they say that once, ages and ages ago, Mala was covered in shadow, and the sun was lost. The Dinos refer to that event as the Night of Dread. The sun disappeared and night lasted for what seemed like an eternity.
Okay, we're coming back to my initial theory from like when we first started this Lostbelt, which is that the divergent point in this Lostbelt was Ort arriving, or Ort awakening, one of those two things. That seems to be the case here. Otherwise, it's back to Quetzalcoatl. One of those two things.
So, if Mictlan's son has been lost before, then the Oselame are actually somewhat justified in practicing this ritual. They truly have brought proper human history's Aztec culture back to life. This means stopping the ritual of sacrifice itself would be tremendously difficult.
One wrong move and we would be fighting a war against 100,000 Oselame. And I doubt that's a war we supposed conquerors can win.
It seems that the best course of action open to us is likely rescuing the hostages at an opportune moment in the ritual, then escaping as quickly as we can. By the way, Tepeyu, do you know of anyone who could tell us more about this Night of Dread?
I've only heard the priests speak of it, and then only to say that it happened. The only ones who would know more are Kukulkan and the observatories... No, never mind. There may be a detailed record in the Solar Sojourn, Chichen Itza's throne room.
Understood. Perhaps we'll get a chance to see it later then. At any rate, thank you all for your patience. Let's return to the matter at hand. Tomorrow, the captured Chaldeans will be used as human sacrifices. The only way we can stop them is by rescuing them before the ritual begins. However, I'm afraid that I have some very unfortunate news to share in that regard. The prisoners are being kept underground beneath Tlaloc's temple. What's more, the temple is guarded by a frankly absurd number of armed Oselame. Never mind rescuing them from their cells, we wouldn't even be able to get close.
So you already knew where they were being kept. No wonder you took all your time with that ritual talk. If the look on your face is anything to go by, you've reached a conclusion too, though I'm guessing it's probably the same as mine.
Indeed. It may not be possible to sneak into the temple now, but tomorrow will be a different story. In proper human history, the Aztec ritual of human sacrifice was part of a ceremony to bring new life to the world, and involved every Aztec citizen ceasing battle and prostrating themselves in prayer for the ritual's success. The Oselame are likely no different. At the very least, we can expect the warriors outside the temple will be following the traditions of the ritual. Of course, there are bound to be some soldiers inside the temple as well, but I trust you can handle those.
Boy, this arrow goes on and on and on.
So the plan is...
Tomorrow we sneak into the temple before the ceremony and get everyone out. So... I don't know, it feels a little presumptive to base this plan on the notion that they won't be relocated until right before they are sacrificed.
Correct. Of course, you'll require a route suited to sneaking in, but I believe our capable bunny here can look into that. In the meantime, the rest of us can recover our strength, then set out for the temple at dawn. How does that sound?
Why are you even asking? There's obviously no alternative. Very well. I shall secure a route into the temple. The rest of you, enjoy your pleasant little chat. I swear on NFF services that I'll find the safest route possible.
I mean, why move them from such a secure location in preparation for the ritual? Move them to the temple where the site, of the event is. Alrighty, well, we do have 2 more arrows on this chapter, but I think we are going to go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. I think that, given the time that I've got left, and the fact that I got 5 hours of sleep, I need to go to bed. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't have work on Friday, and I will have a little bit of free time, so that means Thursday night on our next stream, I can do it a little bit longer if necessary, and in theory, we have to work through 2 more arrows of Section 9, and however long Section 10 takes, and bada bing bada boom, we're done, we're caught up, we made it. And then I will know, in theory, who is going to be showing up on the banners. I am expecting so far that it is Tlaloc, Man, who I understand to be Tezcatlipoca, and Kukulkan, who I think is Pretty Green Lady. Of the 3 of them so far, I think I have the most detail about Tlaloc Like, I'm pretty confident Tlaloc is going to get summonable, so she's the one who I'm, like, pretty secure on, and if she is one of the banners that I'm going to be rolling for, then I'm pretty cool with that. Kukulkan is the other one who, if I am right, I'm probably going to be rolling for and grailing, but I need to see more. I need to learn a little bit more about her. So that is what we're going with. I like that we're calling him man. Look, we've got multiple Tezcatlipokas. I don't know what his deal is, so I can't trust him. He's not a trustworthy kind of fella. Section 10 is relatively short. Cool. So in that case then, I'm pretty sure that I can commit to wrapping up what we have available of Lostbelt 7 Friday night. Unless there's any fights that really stand in my way, we'll have that finished, and then the following stream will be Tuesday of next week, and I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll just do some rank ups. Maybe we'll, I don't know, if there are free quests that unlock halfway through, then that would be cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. You might not be able to upgrade immediately. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Did I say Friday? I meant Thursday. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. Thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you being here and just carrying me along. It is more fun to do this with the more people, and I just love chatting with you guys. There's a reason that I just really, really like lotto streams and just sitting back and mindlessly grinding while we chit chat. So see you guys on Thursday for the conclusion of Lostbelt 7 Part 1. In the meantime, be kind to one another, be kind to yourselves, be safe, and as always, peace out. Good night, everybody.